Hi, I would like to issue a comment on the proposed development at 100 Raleigh Avenue. At the Planning Commission meeting in May, in response to a question, Mr. J. Moss, the developer of the units, made the statement that legally these would be condominiums. At the time, I thought that was a bit odd, but it turns out he had a very good reason for making that statement. We'll get back to that. First, let's determine the difference between a townhome, which these were marketed as, and a condominium. A townhouse is essentially a house that you would purchase normally with a lot underneath it and you own land. The main difference is it is attached to another house. A condominium, meanwhile, is basically a glorified apartment. You buy a space within a building, but you own no land. The Homewood zoning book goes so far as to distinguish these two in their definitions. So why isn't this new construction townhouses? Well, because Mr. Moss has no interest in selling his land. Because to do so, he would have to split it into 6 different plots for his 6 different dwellings. He doesn't want to do this because it would require having to go in front of the BZA and the City Council, in which case he would almost assuredly be shot down. So now that we've determined these are not townhomes, and according to Mr. Moss, they are in fact glorified condos. Now, how does this apply within the WHD? The WHD is very specific in its residential allowed uses. This proposal would fall under a single-family attached dwelling. In the WHD, the single-family attached dwelling specifically lists the following building types are allowed. 1 is a mixed use, which this is not, as there is no commercial aspect to it. The second and final reason is townhomes, which we've already determined these are not. Nowhere does it say that condominiums are allowed. Don't worry, we did find how the WHD defined a condominium. Basically, a condominium is an apartment that can be bought. Nowhere in the WHD does it say that condominiums or apartments are allowed uses for residential buildings. In conclusion, the developer says they are condos. Condos are defined in the Homewood zoning book as apartments people purchase. Apartments, even dressed up ones made to look like townhomes, are not allowed in WHD. Mr. Moss is only doing this because he thinks he can slide it through the Planning Commission without having to face the City Council or the BZA. You can't let him do this because he is not conforming to the literal code of the WHD. Besides that, it absolutely does not conform to the intent of the WHD, which was created to build an urban-based form primarily mixed use in character. Thank you for your time.